Hello.
All right. You're in my ear. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, pretty good.
Awesome. Let me just move this back there down here a little bit. Boom, pop her up. And then come around.
Where is everyone?
Is that better? That's better. People may be just joining in, you know. All right. How's everybody doing? On. All right. Cool. We'll just give it a minute or so and then we'll get it started. How's everybody's Tuesday?
Fabulous.
That's good. Cute.
Same.
All right. Cool. How did the body flip after last week?
No problems.
That's good. Cool. So we're just kind of look to build from last week a little bit. And yeah, I guess kind of we'll start in 30 seconds. If you guys are cool, if you're just hanging out, all I want you to do is just sit back onto your heels, here bump to your heels, and just nice and simple, just sitting back. And you can just simply just look to pulse here a little bit. If it's just too much, you can just, be leaning forward, hands on the ground. Ground is your best friend. Whatever feels good, okay, you can just start doing that. All right. So from there, we can just start to shift the hips a little bit side to side as well. So you can play around with, doing different things. And hopefully this is the front of the shin, maybe the top of your thighs. Just be mindful with the knees and stuff. Below the knee, above the knee, that's cool. Not in the knee. So we're gonna prep the body soft, so like not super hard. We're gonna start with our neck up like we normally kind of do. I'm going to leave the volume up today, so that way kind of if you have any questions or anything like that, maybe we can just churn it out. But it'll just be like quick fire questions. And if your background noise is so loud, I may just kind of mute you guys, but I just want to try something new. Is that cool? Awesome. All right, so from here, let's tuck the balls of our feet underneath us. Just sweep that hand, make sure the pinky toe is not being crushed, and we're just going to simply just rock forwards and backwards here. So just looking to get into the bottom of our feet, okay, looking to stretch the plantar surface, as we call it. And again, we don't need to be super aggressive with this, okay? So, maybe simply, we may be just doing this little pulse, right? But if it's okay, we can just move and really sway back into it. Nice and easy, just starting from the bottom of feet. Now from here, we're going to take one hand, okay, and as we sit back, we're going to just pull that hand on top of the heel and we're just going to fall back. So all we're doing is just shifting that weight a little side to side. So you're going to get a little more intense loading on one side compared to the other side. The key thing here is to have the shoulders directly over the wrist, so you're pushing straight down, right? So you're not kind of dumping into your lower back or anything like that. It's nice and simple. If this is really excruciating, then again, just back it off, right? You guys are in charge of the dosage, okay? So how much load you put in your body, you guys are in control of that, all right? So remember, the regression is just nice and simple, just not coming or leaning as far back, or you can, sit up a little bit higher, so that way you don't have to push down. If you really sit back and lean back, push the hands into the heel, you will really feel this. Okay, just one more. All right, beautiful. That's the feet. But just kind of, hey, we're going to stand up. Now, hopefully you can see my face at least. I'll just be looking at your legs. That's okay. So from here, we're going to start with our head first. And we're going to just start with very, very simple, okay, chin to the chest and then chin up to the ceiling. So just into this basic yes position. And from there, we're going to simply look to go no, which is going to be, again, shoulders are nice and square. We're going to chin over the neck or the shoulder. Okay, try to keep your eyes open. And as always, we're not trying to set PBs. So don't kind of, don't crank the neck up. do notice what the right feels to the left. And the eyes are open because you can gaze, or you can, find a spot behind you, and then you're going to try look through that or a little bit around. So slowly and gradually you can go a little bit further. From there, we'll go ear to the shoulder. So for this, I want you to make sure you're looking straight ahead, and you're going to just drop the ear to the shoulder, side to side. And again, you're just taking a little note of what the neck is doing and feeling. Okay. Man, just had a crack in my neck. All right. So from there, this is the little bit different part. So all we're going to do here is with the head, looking straight ahead, I want you to just keep one hand on the small of your back and the other hand on the chest. So the idea here is I don't want to move from the spine. I don't want to arch my back. I'm not falling onto my hands. So right, this is like your gauge essentially. From here, your eyes are on the horizon, and I just want you to reach forward or protract your head, as we call it. Like we're going to reach forward. And then look at this. We're going to slide back or glide back and give ourselves as many chins as possible. We're just going to travel between these 2 points, A to B. It's nice and simple. And again, sometimes less is more. What I mean by that is, going forward, we're not actually leaning forward from the hips or anything like that. This is why the hands are on the spine. When we fall back, or when we're gliding back, make sure we're giving ourselves as many chins as possible. And again, you're just feeling the quality of the movement. You may feel the mid-back start to light up a little bit as your mid to lower trap starts to kind of work and engage. Cool. That's the easy part. So from here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go for 45 seconds per rotation. And we're going to just bring the neck, and we're just going to keep it at the neck level for now. So all we're going to do is, same position, we're going to slide forward. Imagine a tabletop. We're going to slide forward on the tabletop. Then we're going to tuck the chin into the chest. And then look at this. We're going to give ourselves double chin, and then boom, glide over. So we're just going into this nice, smooth, circular motion. Okay, we're going to go for 45 seconds one way, and then we'll go 45 seconds the other way. Cool. We'll go in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. And the hands are still on the chest and the lower back. Okay. Now, with these, there is no need to try do as many as possible. So speed is not the priority. Okay. What I do want you to do is just feel and move in the manner that, there is no start and there is no finish. So this circle should be smooth. So in the easy bit, sometimes when we're gliding our head forward, we tend to shoot our neck out. So just be mindful. Obviously, when we tuck the chin in, really tuck the chin in. All right. One of the sayings that we have, our aim is you can do it or you can fucking do it. So make sure we're fucking doing it. Okay. So just gliding out, tucking the chin in, really give yourself a double chin, and now reaching out. Keep it going. All right. Let's reverse that. So all we're going to do is chin to the chest. We'll reach forward and then glide back to give that double chin. Chin to the chest. Okay. So here the tendency is to start to flare the ribs of the chest. Again, sometimes less is more. So go slower and try to be smoother. Okay, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Keep it going. Yeah, nice. Try keep your eyes, right? So when you come up, don't try to look at the ceiling. So when you come up, your eyes are on the horizon, then to the ground, to the chest, eyes on the horizon. Yeah, keep at it. Beautiful. And rest. Awesome. All right, so from here, what we're going to get into, guys, is our hands are going to be on our hips. Our legs are going to be about hip distance apart. Okay, so boom. These are very, very simple. And the idea here is we want to kind of get into the joints. So a little bit like last week, you may feel a little bit of grinding or popping into the hips. And again, like we explained last week, that isn't particularly bad. That's just air escaping. If there's pain when you do this, that's a different story. Okay, so no one should be in pain. What we're going to do is hands on the hips. We're going to start with our feet back behind us. Okay, so this trailing leg is going to be laces down. From there, we want to make sure the standing leg, the working leg, is like really strong and stable. So it's okay to lose balance and things like that. But all we're going to do is we're going to drag the toe along the front on the ground and then bring the knees in front of us. We're going to take the knees away from us and drop the knee in this rotation manner. Again, touch the ground, drag it in front of us. So again, we're just going to get into this joint rotation at the hips. So we look to the neck. Now we're getting down to the hips. Now, again, we don't need to be setting a PB with this in terms of like, we should be falling to the side or twisting as we do this. So, if you're falling, you can have a wall that you can lean against a little bit if you want, but really it's this standing leg that's going to be hopefully burning a little bit as the bottom of your feet is working hard to stabilize the feet. And obviously at the joint of the leg that's moving, you may feel a few things, okay? Generally speaking, this way it's okay because we spend a lot of time, doing this type of work or more this type of work than the internal rotation of the hips, which we'll come across later. And making sure you're nice and tall. If you're struggling with the balance, try to look at one spot as well. That's going to help you. Let's switch to the other side. So again, drag the feet back. Boom. Nice and simple. And again, starting to bring the awareness to what one hip feels like to the other. All right, just like the neck, you're making this circle smooth. Okay, so that may mean you may need to go a little bit slower. And there's going to be obviously shitty corners that will try to rush through. So you need to slow yourself down, okay? Smooth and controlled. Try again, avoid twisting your hips. It's okay to kind of do one or two of them, to catch balance, but predominantly you want both your hips facing forward. This is why you have your hands on the hips, okay? All right, let's go to the first side. This time the toes in front of us. This is gonna be slightly different. We're gonna be bringing it back behind us. Knees come to the side and then in front of us. Now this is the one that you may feel the hips start to kind of, let you know they're there, right? So again, just go with it, just nice and controlled. Eyes are gazed in one position, and after kind of, 3 to 5, once you get the understanding, you want to try to push the boundaries, right? Meaning like, you're not being lazy and like trying to just do the small circles. You're trying to see how high can you bring it and around without losing balance. So on the other side to that, if you're losing balance all the time, that means you're making it too hard, right? So find a place where you find yourself a little bit challenged, where you can keep the work smooth. And let's switch sides. Feet are in front of us, back to the side, and in front. Okay, so make sure we're not hitching at the hips. This is just all looking at the joints right now. Okay, just nice and simple. It's not even loaded. You'll feel like the body's heating up because the whole leg has to be working here. And the key thing here is like, this is just not only a great way to kind of, prep the joints for the day ahead or the work ahead, but really it's time to really assess and understand like what the right feels to the left, how much imbalances or, discrepancies there are. That's it, guys. Cool. So from there, we're going to go into a little bit of the knees and ankles, but really look at the hips as well. We're going to load that baby up. So from here, we're going to go into squat position. So the heels are on the ground all the time. Okay, now from here, if your squat looks like this, your bum's up in the air, that's okay. Okay, we'll just kind of go with that for now. The key thing here is, when you sit in this position, I just want you to wiggle around a little bit. Okay, now from here, I want you to come into ball movements of your feet and you're going to drive the knees past over the toes. Just nice and simple. And then we're going to sit back into both heels and we'll go to the other side. Just nice and easy. So we're just kind of shifting our weight side to side. Now again, we don't need to set a PB right now. So we're just kind of being mindful of how we're doing this. We're really trying to get into the bottom of the feet, but obviously trying to get the knee to bend as much as possible. So there's a little bit of loading in the knees, but I'm counterbalancing by my posture of my spine, right? So what I mean by that, guys, okay, from front on, what I want to start to do is, whichever side you're going, you're going to raise that hand and reach back. So you're going to get this a little bit of side body, so counterbalancing, then boom, sit back. Okay, so nice and simple, reach, boom. Now, obviously the knees are trying to come past your toes and towards the ground, but if you're nowhere near there, don't force yourself. Remember, you guys are in charge of the dosage. The more you reach with this top hand over, the more open you're going to get from that side body as well. So the idea here is we're just going to start to open the side body, start to load the knees and hips. Boom. Finish the last rep off. Okay, from here, we're still into this squat position. And all we're gonna do here, guys, is come onto our knees and then sit back down onto our heels. Okay, so from here, we're just sitting in this position there. Now, from there, we're just going to go to the wrist. Okay, so remember the non-negotiables, not so glamorous work. So all we're going to start to do with, guys, is the fingers are going to point back towards your knees. You're going to place those hands onto the ground. And the key thing here is to make sure your hands are roughly about shoulder width apart. Okay, not any closer for the time being. So from the front, this is what it looks like. Naturally, your elbows would be locked here. So what I want to do here is walk your knees back a little bit. And we're going to keep in the fingers pressed into the ground of the heel of the palm. We're going to just look to sit back into the heels. Open the fronts of the forearms, and then boom, lean forward. Okay, so the key details are here, just to keeping the head up a little bit. So make sure the ears are nowhere near the shoulders. So you're not just dumping into this space here like this, because it's like, fuck, it's painful. Remember, bring your knees close to your hands, and it will make it easier. Okay, so with this work, it's not about, again, trying to go as hard as possible. It's really about doing, or staying consistent with it, right? So just nice and simple. If that's okay, you'll just sway side to side. So a little bit like last week, what we're going to do here is just add a different variation in our prep work today. So we're going to just kind of bend the elbows back towards ourselves, okay, which means I need to allow the heel of my palms to come off the ground. So I'm going to slowly come back and then peel the heel of the palm off the ground. Notice I'm falling forward here, so I'm not actually falling back, okay? From there, I'm going to push into the ground and lift the chest up nice and proud. That'll be 1 rep. Right, so let's go together.
Put the camera down just a little bit to see your hands.
I'll just come closer. Boom.
Okay.
So I'm here, right? And we're going to just kind of peel the heel of the palm off from there. That's all we're doing. Okay, so elbows come back towards the hips as I fall forward, and boom. So for some of us, it may not be too much, but look at this. We can't have the fingers up off the ground. So we need to just have the first line of the knuckle on the ground all the time. Yeah, so boom, this is what we're doing, not allowing the fingers or the knuckles to come off. Okay, so just nice and easy, wherever we are, it's just a little loading forward and up. And we're just trying to get into the palm, just the way that we're trying to get in the bottom of the feet. Okay, just one more for me. Keep it going. Beautiful. Once you're done there, guys, all we're going to do is, we're going to turn the fingers, from back behind us, still facing towards our knees, but look, we're going to go the other way. So we're going to turn the pinky towards our knee. So we've got our hands, we were here, we're going to turn the hands in towards ourselves. And that means you may need to bend your elbows just to get into the position. That's totally cool. Then we're going to look to posture up. So lock the elbows, lift the heart away. Now for this, again, your knees maybe need to be a little bit close to your hands to make it easy. If it's okay, you can walk your knees back a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to simply just sway forwards and backwards. Okay, make sure you keep lifting the chest up. And if that's okay, we're going to just sway side to side. Okay, so we're just getting to those nooks and crannies we otherwise would never get into. And this is okay. We're going to just create a little semicircle going one way and the other way. Make sure the elbows are locked, or at least trying to. If you can't quite lock your elbows, make sure you make it easier, because the priority is to load the wrist up, not compensate the shoulders or the elbows, right? From here, guys, all we're going to do is palms are going to face up towards you. Okay, so remember the back of the wrist here. Again, make sure with this, hands are close to your knees to deload it. Okay, both hands if possible. If not, we can just go one at a time, but posture up. We're going to just sway forwards and backwards here. And again, the key detail is we're keeping our chest proud. So that often what happens here is we just try, we try to take the weight from the shoulders, and then we're like this. Make sure we are lifting the chest up nice and proud. If that's okay, we'll pause there, and look, we're going to squeeze our fingers into that gorilla grip for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, and again, big squeeze of the fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Last one. Keep the chest proud. Big, and squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly let go. Back it off and shake it off. Okay, from here, we'll just interlace our fingers, heel of the palms together, shut the elbows into the side body. We're just going to create 5 circles going one way. Again, slow. Really go into this grace. So now there's no loading, but hopefully you can feel the joints trying to move. So you got to keep yourself strict, okay, that you're not rushing it through the corners and then change directions. What you may find is the circles may be different from going one way than the other way. Okay, just a coordination. That's okay for now. All right, cool. From there, we're going to get into the hips a little bit, okay? So what we're going to get into here, I'm regretting. I thought it was fucking cold. It's definitely not cold. I've got sun in my fucking face. I'm boiling my tits off. It's amazing. So from here, we're going to get into the hips. This is a single leg primer that we've been working on for the last 2 weeks, okay? The intention here is to not only kind of get into the back of the legs, the hamstring, the calves, the glutes and things like that, but it's actually trying to get you guys a little more comfortable and confident with loading a single leg in multiple different ways. So the terminology that we use is strength out of alignment. What I mean by that is think about, lifting technique or any exercise form wise, right? It's a particular way of doing things. So it's like, if I squat, my knees are going to be bad, I'm going to come down. If I deadlift, I'm hinging at the hips and all this stuff. But you think about, let's say, stand up or jiu-jitsu, it's like, fuck, I got to be strong here, I got to be strong there kind of stuff. So it's different angles, whatever. The same thing here. We're going to try to get a little bit warm and also a little bit strong and explore different range of motions. But the key detail is this. The work is slow and smooth. And I'll keep coming back to this because we want to spend quality time under tension because that's how we make changes. If we try rush into positions, if we try slingshot ourselves out of things, thinking we're going to be going as far as possible, that's not what we're looking for, right? So I just wanted to leave with that. The work, remember, guys, from the last couple of weeks is standing on one leg. All we're going to do is, 3 positions. We're going to go straight back. Now, the key details here is this. The index fingers are pointing. We're going to reach as far forward as possible. Now, if I keep my standing leg straight, maybe I can show you this on the side. Look, this is how far I can reach, generally reach. If I bend my knees a little bit, look, I can go reach further because what this means is I can apply a little more strength and stability. Now, the leg that's kind of coming up in the air, just because it's up in the air, it doesn't mean it's not working. We have to make sure this glute here, so if you look at my back leg, I'm not just letting it floppy. I'm actually, boom, reaching back using my butt because that's going to then allow me to be a little more stable. I'm going to kiss the ground or test the water with my fingers. I'm going to get big after that. Now, it's okay if you fumble and you can reset, right? The second part is this. We're going to wrap the leg around. We're going to then come and reach to the side as far as possible. Boom, kiss, nice and tall. Now, the tricky part is going to the other side. We're going to just reach smooth. So we're loading the knees, the ankles, the hips, kiss, and up. And again, we're not going for like a repetition, so don't feel like you need to try to get as many as possible. What we'll do is we'll go for a minute per side. This is 15 more seconds work than the last 2 weeks, okay? Just overloading it slightly. So we've got 3 positions, just so everybody's clear, testing the water in front of us, nice and big. I'm just rushing through this, don't rush through it. Kiss, and we got boom, okay? And we're gonna just stick to that leg. Cool, we'll go in 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's get it. Okay, so point those fingers, index fingers, and they're gonna touch the ground at the same time. So I don't wanna be just one finger at a time, right? You're not falling to the side on the left and touching that bit first. You're going to make sure it's both at the same time, which means you gotta try to keep your shoulders level. Okay, that way you can really dial in the details. Nice and easy. Again, don't just drop down, okay? Gravity would win every single time. We know that, right? You're trying to resist that. You're trying to, again, consciously try to make yourself small as possible and reaching as far as possible. Okay, you got 15 more seconds on that leg. So right about now, you may feel the burn from the bottom of your feet. Maybe the hamstrings are being lengthened a little bit. Maybe the glutes are being stretched when you're twisting and stuff, right? That's all cool. That's expected. And finish that last rep off. Okay, just setting yourself up. Then we'll go into second side in 3, 2, 1, and boom, let's get it. Okay, so nice and easy. Boom. Again, make sure you get big and take that moment just to kind of show that control, right? Nice. Nice. Again, bend the knee generously, right? The standing leg, the supporting leg, because that's going to allow you to recruit more of the goodness behind your legs, right? All that rump you can't see behind you, all that stuff that you can't, see behind you. We want them to work. We want them to be leading the work. Finish your last rep off. And voila. All right. Everybody still with me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good, cool. All right, so legs are kind of like nice and awake a little bit. We'll take it downstairs. So again, kind of just nice and simple. Just on our knees to start off with. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into that long body hold that we were talking about last week a little bit. So essentially we have the straight arm plank. Okay, so this is just straightforward. So we've already prepped our wrist up. Again, the hands are about shoulder width apart, if not a little bit closer. Okay, not too wide though. Okay, because we can sink in. So what I want to see happen here is we're going to have the ball onto our feet, okay, loaded, so heels are kind of pressed together. Now the key thing we talked about last week was making sure the weight is evenly distributed, right? So we're not going to do this week because what we're going to go straight into is the long body, which is going to be, we're going to walk our hands out a little bit in front of us, okay, with the intention of, again, look at my butt, I'm going to tuck the butt underneath me. Okay, it's not too low because I'm gonna just arch my back, but it's not piked, it's not all the way up. The key thing here is this: my shoulders are trying to wrap around, okay, because this is gonna allow me to keep my shoulders away from the ears, but it's also gonna recruit all the good stuff that I need from behind my shoulders to keep myself stable. Now, if we do this right, the funny thing is we're not gonna feel jack shit from shoulders. We should only feel the front of the body light up because we're trying to utilize the strength of the upper body and strength of our lower body by bridging the gap in the middle. If, however, this shit's not working, the stuff in the middle, what's going to happen is you're going to either feel this to the front of your shoulders or just burning shoulders, because what you're essentially doing is you're just holding everything on by the shoulders, or burning the quads because you got weight too much on the legs. Yeah. So what we're going to do here is just to kind of push capacity, because we've been laying, these little things down. We're only going to do this once, but for a whole minute. Now, at about 30, 40-second mark, you'll really have to think about what your breath is doing, because you can't hold breath for that fucking long doing this sort of work. So it'll be interesting to kind of see. I just wanted to bring your awareness to what we have been doing in the previous weeks. So what we're going to do is nice and simple. I'll talk you through it. Hang on. I'm going to do this with you. So I'm just going to set my timer on. For 1 minute, 5 seconds setup. So that at the moment, you're already kind of in this high plank position for me. This is your starting position today. Okay, so everybody come up. Now, ideally, yeah, that's cool. Nice, Sam. Just tuck your butt underneath you. Okay, from here, we'll walk our hands out a little bit. Now, again, don't go crazy with this, just enough, and push the ground away from you. Tuck, and the time is here. Now, make sure the heels are touching together because your feet should be touching together. Your neck is nice and long, so your eyes are gazed up. You're not looking at your toes or the ground below you. You're trying to gaze your eyes up and through. From there, push your fingertips into the ground and then back towards your feet. Then drop your hips to tuck your hips underneath you. Okay, so there's another way to say this is like bring your pelvis to your rib cage and your rib cage to your pelvis. Sometimes think about squeezing your hands and your feet together towards each other without raising the hips or dropping the hips. Okay, and the breath should be there. Okay, again, lift the chest up. Lift the chest up. So wrap the shoulders and lift the chest up. Neck is nice and long. Legs are straight, so squeeze the quads. Okay, the back and knee should be locked. Okay, keep picking that chest up. Keep wrapping the shoulders. And again, keep squeezing the hands and feet together if you've got it. Okay, breath. And time. You can say yes today, by the way, because you're not on mute. Everybody good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So how was that? Just quickly.
That's good.
All right. So what we're going to get into here. Has anybody got any questions around that? Because that's like the underlying thing. Okay. So I'm going to eat pretty thick and fast today because I really want to get 3 sets of work done. Let me just look at the time. Beautiful. Perfect. So the movements that we're going to nail out today, okay, are very, very basic. Again, building from last week a little bit. This is called a scap push. Okay, so scap push is essentially push up without bending your elbows. This is a straight arm push. Now make sure this is not a normal push up. So this is not like, we're kind of boom kind of thing. We're looking to just strengthen the not so glamorous stuff. So in this case, this shoulder blade that we were talking about before, right? So our ability to handstand and, you know, do crazy shit kind of thing, it's straight arm work. It's basically like, think about, you know, we're trying to build a wall and not your shelf, right? So obviously like push-ups and pull-ups, that's like a lot of arms, obviously shoulders and arms, right? Here, we're trying to take the arms out of the equation as much as possible to really put everything into the shoulders only, which means it's actually a really small movement, okay? So scap push-up is basically that plank position, hands under your shoulders. Just watch me first. All we're gonna look to do is drop the heart, and then we're gonna look to really round by pushing the ground away from us. So we're really looking to spread the shoulder blades. So this is like the extent of the movement. Now, this is not a neck crunch or like a dropping or like doing something weird with your hips kind of thing. If that's too much, we can just take it to our knees, our chest, and look, keeping the elbows locked. If you notice my elbows are not bending, so even if you think you're getting more movement because of this, that's not the work. Yeah. So what I want to do quickly is I just want you to turn sideways so I can see your side views. I just need to see your shoulders and like the line of your spine. And I just want you to hold the top position for 2 seconds and the bottom position for 2 seconds. So I'll count you in. Okay. So if you look at your hands, they should be under the shoulders. Okay. So thank you. There it is. Okay. Neck is nice and long. Okay. And here we go. Come down, hold for 1, 2, and push up. Really push your round away. Lift for 2, 1, and down. 1, 2, up, lift, 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 1, 2, and down, 1, 2, lift, 1, 3, down, 1, 2, lift up, push the ground away as much as possible, 1, 4, down, 1, 2, lift up, nice and proud, more, 1, 5, and rest. Okay, that's it, no more. So we're going to be doing double that, right? 10 reps. The key thing is this: if we feel fatigue, and look at my back, if I'm here with my back, it feels like I'm doing stuff, but that's not going to do anything in the shoulders. Because again, everything's going to be just taken away. Much better to regress, right? Because sometimes we need to regress to progress. So don't think you need to have your knees off all the time. I'd rather see knees on the ground, shorten yourself, shorten your levers so it becomes a little bit easier, but you do the movements to the best standard that you can do, right? Working to your capacity. From there...
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this targeting the middle of the back here?
Basically, kind of, yeah. Okay, yeah. So like basically like, you know, think about like all the pulling motion and stuff like that. Or essentially what we're doing with the shoulders, guys, is we're reaching forward with the shoulders and then squeezing the shoulders. That's all we're looking to do, right? That's essentially, but in the pushing, in the pushing format, essentially. So from here, all we're going to look to do, guys, into the hips. So let's just sit into this straddle position. So legs are nice and wide, okay? And we're just going to prepare this just before we get into the work. Now from here, the simple work that we've been doing, remember, is if you can't see yourself on the ground comfortably with your back straight in this position, we need to elevate that hip up a little bit higher, right? So what I mean is if we're like this already, this is not going to work. So it's better to be in this position. Now, having said that, all we're going to look to do is with the toes are pulled up, then we're going to point the toes away from us by squeezing the quads in as much as possible, then pull the toes up. We're just going to do this 20 times, just preparing the nervous system and kind of just letting the body know what's to come, okay? So just kind of let's head this up. So toes are up, back towards you. Let's point them away and up for 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold, rest. Okay. So what did you guys feel like when you do that? Just so I'm just curious.
I feel it on the inside of the thighs and the butt.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. So essentially kind of like everybody's going to feel something slightly different depending on where you guys are. But basically by pointing the toes, you have to squeeze. Where you're going to feel is things like in and around the hips here, like the shortened muscle, which is like, it never works that hard. This is just preparing yourself. Obviously the toes and the back of the calves, you know, those nerves that run down, up and down, they're being lengthened. So it should be a little bit easier to kind of get into this position after this. Having said that, the work we're doing, guys, is what we call straddle leg lifts. So I want you to just close your legs a little bit. So making this a little bit easier. okay? So I don't want to be like at the end range of what you can do. I want to make it a little bit easier. From here, we're going to place, okay, both hands either side of the leg. Okay, so look, I'm twisting my body. Now the key detail is this: I don't want to see fingertips. I want to see the heel of the palm pushing into the ground, posturing up. Now the more we close the gap between ourselves and the thighs, okay, the better, harder work it's going to be. So what that means is I don't want to see this shit here, okay? So from there, I'm going to point my toes away. I'm going to keep my legs straight as possible. This is FYI, crampcentral.com, okay? So we're going to go into 15 leg lifts, okay, on my count. It's going to be hard and fast, okay? Toes pointed, push the ground away, breathe in, and let's go. Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's change hands and legs, okay? Toes pointed. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that's not nice, okay, but it's just something that we need to kind of do to look after these fucking hips, right? So everybody thinks like, but tight hips, I can't fucking do this. But you think about in bottom position, I'm using this stuff to pull myself in and out kind of thing, right? So it's like we need to look at the hip health. Everybody works on the fucking big, powerful, juicy meat and the strength work on that kind of stuff. But without the small stabilizers, there is no fucking big stuff working. So from here, all we're going to do, guys, we've got the squat push-ups, we've got the leg lifts, okay? The last thing we're going to get into, okay, is essentially our Cossacks. So think about this, okay? We've been working on this, okay? So at the start of this, for those of us who are regulars, okay, we were kind of doing this type of sweep of movements, okay? What I want to kind of go into is just a very nice and simple, okay? My hands, okay, are going to run down my legs. I'm going to bend one knee. I'm going to reach to the other. Okay, so I'm sliding my hands down my inside of my leg and down my thigh as much as possible. And I'm going to stand up and go to the other side. So again, I'm going to run. Now the key thing is this, looking from the side. Even if your ass, if you're so tight, even if you're like here, this is better than like trying to just bring your head to the ground, right? So think about letting your hips sink back and sit. You can look at the leg that you're going towards. Let's just do 5. Okay, so all we're going to do is...
Did we lose him?
I think we lost him.
What's happened?
He's abandoned us.
Oh no!
That's
gone.
good, that stretch though. Good one to finish on.
I didn't think we were that bad.
Dear, oh dear. I probably doesn't realise that he's dropped off either.
No, probably not.
That's okay.
At least it was towards the end.
Yeah, true.
I don't know about everyone else, but that leg lift one, I think I cramped on number 4.
Same here. It was horrible.
I don't even know if I did 1 rep properly, to be honest.
I hate
Sorry,
those
Kareem.
ones.
Did everybody notice that I left?
Yeah, we did.
Good.
Nick, are you there?
Oh shit! I don't know. I think my baby girl Kai just turned a PowerPoint off for the last hour or something because my battery just ran out. I was like, what the fuck? All right, so from here, all we're going to get into, guys, is just kind of those 3 movements back to back. Okay, so we're going to go to scat push-ups, which is going to be on our either balls of our feet or knees, but nice and long. We're going to go for 10 reps, okay, and then we're going to go together with this. The key thing here is if you start towards the end, if you're feeling this in the wrist or the top of your neck, that probably means it's too much. There's too much loading, or we're not doing something right. Okay, so let's get into this position. Okay, neck is nice and long. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Drop and pick for 1. Drop, push, 2, drop, push, 3, drop, push, 4, drop, push, 5, drop, push, 6, drop, push, 7, drop, push, 8, drop, push, 9, drop, push, and just hold it there. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Neck is nice and long. And down, rest. All right, from there, okay, straddle position, toes are pointed, hands either side. Make sure the hands are flat on the ground all the time. Okay, we'll go in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides, we'll go in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, on our feet. Let's go into Cossacks. Just 5 per side. Okay, so again, just nice and simple. We're going to reach. Okay, we can also glide side to side, guys, if you're feeling confident. But you want to hold it for a second in each positions. Okay, so again, boom, nice. Run the other hands down as well towards your ankle. So both hands are trying to reach towards the ankle. Okay, you can almost grab the outside edges of your ankles and pull yourself towards there as well, as long as the hips are nice and low. Yeah, just 5 per side. Keep it going. Keep it going. Nice. Make sure the heels are on the ground at all times, guys. Really important, right? So no one's kind of picking their, heels up off the ground. Okay, keep it going. 2 more. Nice. Smooth and slow. Once you're done, on your knees. Okay, ready to go again. Scap push-up, just nice and straightforward. Okay, make sure your fingers are nice and wide, that you're active through your fingers. Think back to your wrist prep work. Shoulders are stacked over the shoulders. Sorry, shoulders are stacked over the wrist. Neck is nice and long. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and drop. Push, hold. 1. Down. Push, hold. 2. Down. Push, hold. 3. Down. Push, hold. 4. Down. Push, hold. 5. Down. Push, hold. 6. Down. Push, hold. 7. Down. Push, hold. 8. Down. Push, hold. 9. Down. Push and hold. And rest. Boom. All right, so from here, we'll go into the legs. This time, guys, what we're going to do is just 10 reps per side, 10 reps per side, okay? Then we're going to finish with hands in the middle and 10 on both legs, okay? So this is going to be a little more challenging, okay? So even if you keep your knees bent a little bit and you can do this, that's cool, as long as the work's happening here. The toes need to be pointed at all times, okay? So here we go. First side, palms flat, lean towards it if you've got it, please. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and switch. 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hands in the middle, toes are pointed, posture, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cossacks, let's go. Okay. Okay, so I want to see both feet flat on the ground. Weight is always through the heels. Toes are pointed. Let's go. Let's go, Sam. Okay. Nice. Okay, and think about sinking your sit bones to the ground. And at the bottom, keep the chest proud a little bit. So imagine you're going to elongate yourself, meaning reaching forward. Okay, so the weight is at the heels. Chest is pulled up by squeezing the shoulder blades maybe. Nothing's on the lower back ever with this, okay? If it's in the lower back, that means we're overarching, okay? Nice, nice and simple. Just 5 per side. This is the last time you're gonna do this. Nice. Good. Okay, keep it smooth. All right. And wrap it up and rest. Cool. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Good. So what I want to kind of just quickly, essentially like introduce, I guess, when I say reintroduce, it's like reintroducing, I guess, a little bit like the work that we'll be kind of doing is going to be a little bit like this, where we need to kind of just like condition now that we've understood what we're trying to do. I know kind of, Paul, this is your first time, and so maybe like, fuck, what's happening? But the notion now is to kind of now implement a little bit of what we consider like locomotion type of work, which is like full body conditioning, but like not the typical way, right? So think about jiu-jitsu, things like that. We're going to be going into like the hips, knees, and ankle work. So just simple drills, like how to come up, down. But, not the old school jiu-jitsu way where it's like, fuck, they, just do anything and die kind of stuff. It's nice and easy, making sure there's a process. So there's like progressions and regressions for everybody. But we're going to have to do this. That type of work needs to go with this type of work as well, because you'll see the difference. There's no point trying to, do all the technical stuff if we can't apply it into the stuff that we actually need, right? So think about when we talked about standing up, like, the mobility piece, right? Everybody wants to do side splits, which is awesome, but you don't have the strength from the other side to pick your legs up that high, right? So it's not going to benefit anybody. So we need to make sure we're marrying the strength with the movement, essentially. But that's about it, guys. Do you have any questions?
No, all good.
What's something you can do, Vic, to make your legs not cramp with those leg lifts?
You got to just embrace the suck and just lean into it more. It will
Just
get
doing
better.
more of them, or they'll get less sticky.
Yeah, so let's put it this way: like I still get cramps and feel shit when I haven't done it for a couple of weeks, essentially.